It's not really a trigger warning list. It's like a menu. Hey, all you boozy bookers. Welcome to this novella. Today, Jamie is taking us on the wild ride of trigger warnings. Yeah.
No, nobody should trust me to do anything, let alone take them on a journey of anything. All right. So fun. I love a trigger warning. Like, you can't turn me off of a book by a trigger warning. It doesn't matter if there's 5 pages. You can take me to a link to the internet where it takes 30 minutes to go through the trigger warnings. I'm like, okay, let's do this. Like, it's not going to turn me off of the book. I'm just going to be like, okay, let's start this. Some of the other bookers aren't like that, though. Jess, how do you feel about a trigger?
So I actually, I don't read trigger warning lists. I think it gives away the plot.
It does.
So I know that there are people out there that trigger warnings are important, and there's for them how they put books are and how they like vibe read. If there's a vibe that they kind of get off of certain trigger warnings, they're like, oh, not for me. I won't read it. Like, I can usually tell from other things like the synopsis of the book, or maybe if I've read a few reviews, if it's going to be something that I like. I absolutely don't read trigger warnings. I think it gives stuff away. So
it definitely does. Listen, trigger warning is a statement cautioning the content may be disturbing or upsetting. So you have a lot of commonly used triggers, like you have sexual content, violence, physical harm, abuse and bullying, mental health and medical, death and grief, discrimination and hate, pregnancy and reproductive health is a big one because of your mental stuff, specific situations they do triggers for. So I also find that sometimes in a book with triggers that they'll tell you it's triggering, but as you read the book, it's a really glossed over scene or it's not even as triggering as you would think it would be because they hinted at it already.
Yeah, I think sometimes publishing companies or maybe even authors are trigger happy. And it's because they're so worried about upsetting or offending somebody or turning off certain readers that they're like, oh, I mentioned this word, so I have to put in a trigger warning. And again, that's why I think I don't put a lot of weight into trigger warnings or even worry too much about them, is because I think the way people pick books is so much more than just looking at that list. And if you're turned off by a trigger warning list for how you pick your types of books, you might be limiting yourself, right? But that's your choice. So if there are things that you want to avoid, you know you're not going to pick those types of books. If I don't want to read about monsters and vampires, I'm not going to read anything in that kind of genre or subtext. I don't need a trigger warning to tell me not to read it.
Yeah. Like I said before, triggers don't bother me at all. But we read a book that didn't even really have very many trigger warnings on it. Anathema.
Yes.
Did not have very many trigger warnings on it. And to be honest, it was more triggering of a book than some I've read.
Yes.
Like just the setting, the scenes, what they talked about, how they talked about it, like the fetal stuff, like feticide and stuff in it was way more triggering than half of the sexual triggering books that I read.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, I think that's because you have the spectrum, right? You have people who overdo it on the trigger warnings, and then others go, I really don't think that this is a big issue. And so they don't put a trigger in there. And then you have people that have strong reactions to their book, right? And I think that's just our journey as readers, is we kind of pick and choose what we like. And trigger warnings are good. They're there. They're a resource. If you want to use them, use them. But I don't think it's something that's ever going to necessarily prevent me from reading for a book, because I can always DNF it. That's just the way I look at it.
I don't DNF a book ever. I've never DNF'd a book. Like, I will read it, like, I'll skim it, like, if I don't like it, but even then, like, I read it fully.
I have a few, not a lot. I will say it's probably, I can count them all on one hand. But it's just one of those things where my time is precious. And if I'm going to take my time to read a book, I want to enjoy it.
Yeah.
And I don't want to, we had to read in school as mandatory. I get to read for fun now. I get to read for me now. So if I'm not vibing or I'm not reading with something, I'll put it back. I'll set it down. Maybe I'll come back to it another time and try and finish it. So, yeah. But I'm curious as to when you talk about trigger warnings and everything like that, what percentage of the books do you read have trigger warnings? Do you even pay attention enough to gauge that?
I don't normally. If it's just my personal books, not for book club, then I lean more towards the darker romance that has the more triggering. So I would say probably 60% of the books that I read that I personally pick have triggers on them.
Yeah, and I think it's going to always relate to what type of genres you read, right? I think if you read the young adult or the fantasy, the romantasy, you won't see them as much as you would in the dark romance section. But again, if you're in that part of the bookstore or you're shopping for those types of books, you know that there's going to be things in there of those types of elements. So I think it just comes naturally with them.
Yeah, right. I lean more towards the reverse harem mob, like, you know, gangster kind of, more of those kind of books. So like you have the murder, the, you know, sexual deviant kind of book stuff going on. So that's definitely a play.
I think in those cases, because like when you do a book club and you have people of varying tastes like we do in Boozy Bookers, it's good because we all have the same number of picks. So if you have a Jamie pick or whatever, it's good to have that list for like Corey and Sam.
They need it.
and they will read it and they will rely on it because for them, they want to know what they're getting themselves into. The only time I like surprises, and my husband can tell you this because I hate surprises, is in books. I don't like people spoiling things for me in books. They're magical to me. So I avoid the trigger warnings. I sometimes don't even read the synopsis on books. I'll just
That's so crazy.
It's other things that have led me to that book. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to read it. And I don't want to know.
Yeah.
But Jamie flips to the last page.
I do. I got to know. Like,
she's got to know.
I got the guts to know. Like, I got to know what's happening. And I love to read the last page of a book and then to figure out the journey of how we got to that last page. Or sometimes, listen, I'm so fucked up. Sometimes I will randomly flip to a page in the book and just read to see what's happening randomly in the book.
Chaos. It's chaos.
It's amazing. Everybody should try it, okay?
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah. Taurus, right? Taurus?
Yeah.
Taurus, Capricorn. That ain't happening.
It's great.
We go in order.
No.
We go in order. There is a process.
No, pure chaos. You just got to live in it, okay?
Never. I do have a question, though. Have you ever had a trigger warning that was missing from a book and the book did bother you? And you thought, oh, that should have had a trigger warning? Other than Anathema. I know you kind of mentioned that one.
No, Anathema was the only one that I really was like, oh, that was more than I thought.
Yeah.
Because like I said, most of the time when I read the list of triggers, I feel like most of the books put them in there, but it's only like a word. It's glossed over. It's nothing that I would have assumed would be so triggering.
Yeah.
But that book really kind of went into more detail than what I would have thought for the most part.
Do you have a common trigger warning amongst your books?
That most of them have?
Yeah.
Well, funny you should ask.
I knew you would have looked that up.
I just
finished
trigger warnings. The Lord series.
Oh.
And I just went off the first 4 books. I have a page and a half of triggers for these first 4 books, guys. Graphic violence, non-dub con, which is non-consensual or dubious consent. So basically forced consent, okay? Branding, forced sex fantasy, drug alcohol use, mass, breath play. Breath play is a big one in mine.
Breath play?
Yeah, like
choking.
Oh,
okay. Yeah. Okay. I don't know if I've ever heard it called that.
Yeah. See, these are
I learned things with Jamie.
Yeah. That's why I wanted to do this, you guys, so that you know what these triggers are when you get into them.
Yeah.
Bondage, kidnapping, anal, praise kink. Praise kink is another big one in them.
I understand that one.
Yeah. Everybody loves a good praise kink, right?
Everybody loves a good praise kink.
Who are you?
Just
if you
don't tease me with witty praise banter and have no kink.
They got to go hand in hand, okay?
You got to have the action with the words.
You can't stop. Murder. Suicide's another big one.
Oh.
Like, they always allude to those. Like in sex toys, water bondage was a good one. And this one, that was a new one.
Write down this series.
That was a new one for you, okay? Self bondage, knife play.
Oh,
we learned about that in Lights Out, guys.
We've talked about the knife play.
There was gunplay in this one.
Oh.
The same kind of premises as the knife play. Okay.
Okay. We're making our way through all the weapon types.
Yep. Just keeps going. Blood play.
Oh, okay.
So people like blood.
Yeah.
Okay. Then we get down to The bad ones again, grooming, child abuse. Those were, gross ones. Let's see. Forced enema. That was a new one for me.
Forced enema. That's intriguing.
It was so weird. I was like, okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
Person enjoyed it, but it was weird. And it was in a room full of people. So I was like,
So it's like exhibitionist forced enema?
Yeah.
That's a new genre for me.
Yeah. Yeah. Like,
I can see why I'm doing this novella with you.
Do you see why you're in here and nobody else? Because everybody else would have been like, oh my God, Jamie, what's
Corey would
happening?
have ran out the door.
I can't do this. Yeah. So he gave the enema in a room full of people.
Oh.
And then, she obviously left to take care of it. And then they came back.
Oh, okay.
It was weird.
And were they intimate after that?
Yes.
Oh, in the room full of people.
Of course.
Of course. That's a Jamie book. That's like page 5 of a Jamie book. Let's just be real
will let you know,
about that.
We were probably only 6 chapters in.
See?
Yeah. Claustrophobia.
Oh.
Blackout complex.
Okay. I will tell you this. Claustrophobia would probably be the only one to get me. Because that's a true fear.
It's big fear of mine as well.
Yeah.
And made this one worse. I'm going to let you know. Let me tell you a scene of this one, okay?
Oh.
So not only was it claustrophobia, like he was in a tight little box, but there was water that came in as well. So I had issues with that scene myself.
Yeah.
But I was like, okay.
Like when I'm watching
like
stuff,
a flashback scene, so I knew he survived.
Yeah, like when I'm watching movies or stuff like that, or even like reading books and I see things with claustrophobia or intense heights and things like that, I actually have sweaty palms and I have a visceral reaction to it.
Yeah.
I don't know about that one.
That one's...
I mean, I would keep reading.
Yeah, I mean, who won it?
I wouldn't like that part of the chapter.
Deep throat training?
No.
Okay.
That's for the longsword play that comes later.
Yeah. Oh, here was a good one that was a trigger warning that I've never heard of. Cock warming.
What's the trigger warning? What's the trigger?
I don't know what the trigger was for that one, but apparently
that's new.
They wanted to let you know that she's just going to hold this in her mouth for a while. So.
Oh, okay. That is an intriguing trigger warning.
Right?
In this element, it's not really a trigger warning list. It's like a menu.
Well, that's what
It's like...
we're just going by what's happening.
They're going down the list going, yes, I'll have one of that. Or, it could be like when Harry met Sally, I'll take one of everything. Or I'll take what she's having.
Check. Did that yesterday. Yes. Oh, hey, did that.
That's crazy. Mm-hmm. No, definitely haven't heard of all of those.
Listen, I just hit off of like half of them, guys. Like there's more. I didn't tell them all, okay?
There's always more.
So that was a very trigger happy series, okay?
Yeah.
And that was only the first 4 books. There's 2 more.
Wow.
It was a 6-book series.
Well, there you go.
No, 7. Sorry, 7 books, I think.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, I think with
multiples.
I think trigger warnings have their place for some reason, readers and everything. But it's good to what's a trigger warning if you don't understand what the reference is for. So
you gotta know some things.
There has to be some sort of a education that comes with it.
Right there, especially when they use abbreviations for some of the stuff. Yes. Like I had to look up a couple when I first had started reading.
Please don't Google any of these at work.
No, don't.
No.
Unless you're me, and then I Google everything, and everybody's like, Jamie, your search history is unhinged. When the work people look at your history, why are you on company time looking at that? I'm going to get in trouble one day.
Okay, one day.
One day. It'll be fine.
No, she never takes PTO. They're not going to get rid of her. Don't worry.
It'll be fine. It'll be fine, guys. Yeah. Big one at the time that I had to look up was CNC, which was consensual non-consent.
Oh,
because I was like, what's CNC? I don't understand. It kept popping up.
Yeah.
So obviously, role play that you give consent to ahead of time.
And then stop. Yeah.
And then you don't know what's happening. And then eventually somebody comes and does something, a sexual fantasy later. But
yeah, I can see that. I can see that with the trigger warnings with people too. Yeah, some of these I'm like, it's a menu. It's not a trigger warning. I don't know why it would be triggering, but again, it's personal experience, right? It's different for everybody. Some people need these trigger warnings because they'll be like, nope, never touching this book. But also, if I think for some people, if they see a link where you have to go online to the trigger warnings, they're like, never mind.
It's too much.
I can't. Back on the bookshelf. You're a pretty cover, but I'm not touching you. That kind of thing. So it's definitely intriguing. I do want to give a shout out though. So if you've watched our Boozy Booker podcast, you know that I'm very passionate about the drinks that we make. And for the first time ever, Jamie was one who didn't like a drink I made.
I did not enjoy one.
So today, Jamie has Jamie's Coup, which is her remix of the drink. And it is a Red Bull Amber edition mixed with a little bit of the strawberries and rose vodka. So Red Bull and vodka, if you want a fun take, this is something that's accessible to everybody. The Smirnoff strawberries and rose is available in almost all of the liquor stores. And it is a fun little accent. You can add it to anything. And it's just a really good floral note. And for spring and summer vibes, I definitely recommend it. But that Red Bull Amber, it's a strawberry and apricot flavor. Absolutely. Love it.
Listen, I did not enjoy the other one because of the ice. That was the base of it. Yeah. I'm not a big ice drink fan.
Yeah.
But this, delicious. This is delicious. I've drank half of it already. I'm probably going to drink the rest of it. That's probably why half of this was really unhinged, because this is like the third one we've done today. So I've had way too much liquor, okay? Just keep that in mind.
It's the Novella day. We're trying to knock these out to keep you entertained.
Yeah. Don't judge this, okay?
But as always, drink responsibly.
Don't do what Jamie does, okay?
We're just going to go float in the pool later. It's okay. And probably talk more about trigger warnings.
Yeah, right. Because, I mean, you can't go wrong with a trigger warning in my book.
But I will tell you that it's always good to have the one friend and the group that knows the trigger warnings and can break it down for you. Because if there's ever a question on a book, whatever, I go, hey, Jane, like, look at this one. You know me. Am I going to like this, not like this? What's the vibe? She'll probably go read the last page and then tell me, it's predictable. Don't read it.
Listen, we'll be in a bookstore and they'll be like, hey, Jamie, will you read the back of this and tell me? I'll be like, yeah, I'll read it.
Yeah.
I think we covered everything. But as always, if you guys have any questions about anything dark fantasy, dark romance, any questions about triggers or anything, hit us up. I'm your girl. I'll tell you whatever you want to know.
Yeah. And don't forget to comment below. Tell us what are the trigger warnings that you might watch out for, or the most common trigger warnings that you find that may be overused in some of the genres of the books that you read. Or if you have a trigger warning question, Jamie can answer it. If you have anything that you want, just pop it in the comments below. As always, we'll see you later. Happy pages and libations.
Bye.
Bye.